Before we get started, if you guys want to be able to purchase a question or donate to the channel, you can find my Amazon wishlist, PayPal, and Cash App all in the description box below. And I truly appreciate any and all of you who donate to my channel. You guys really make a difference in my life, so thank you for that. Or anybody purchasing questions as well, you guys are truly appreciated. And let's get started with what our guides want to talk about today. So, instead of attacking you directly, they are hurting those that you love. Wants you to be obsessed with them like they are with you. Psychological warfare designed to make you live in fear and stop interacting with others. Wants you to be isolated and mentally unstable for some reason. So I had a feeling that today we're going to end up talking a lot about the warfare going on towards people that are trying to make changes and a difference in this world, and the amount of negativity and setbacks, obstacles, things like that that we end up having to face along the way. For such a small truck, that was a very loud truck. It was one of those like bank type of trucks, I think. So let's see what else. All my love rests with you. All my strength is behind you always. Feel me near. I am here, physical or not. Listen to your heart. Always do what you feel is right for you. Never question moving forward or moving on. If love is leading you, then it could never be wrong. So, definitely your ancestors want you to know that they are behind you 100%, that they are here protecting you, guiding you, looking after you. And I really do feel like there's not too much to worry about, even though there is a lot going on behind the scenes at times. We are never alone. It may feel like we're alone at times, but we're never alone. Being able to escape that feeling of alone is definitely something that is going to help to win in this situation as well. When we are strong apart, we are stronger together. I am not for you. You guide me as my shining star. So, there's definitely somebody that is not the person for you, and they may be very frustrated about this, very upset about this. They may be upset that they can't be with you or around you, or that you have walked away from them in some sort of way. And this person may also be trying to isolate you or trying to tear you apart from the people that care about you, because they want you to feel like the only person that you can come to or the only person that will be there for you is them. So they could definitely be trying to get you to gravitate back towards them, because you feel like the only person that you have to reach out to is them. You are definitely inspiring a lot of people as well. The way that you're handling this, the strength that you have. And you're definitely being seen more than you know. Walk away from what no longer serves you. Clear space for what does. So if you have not walked away from this person completely, or cut this cycle off, or cut this situation out, then you're being directed to cut this situation out and to not worry about the fallout that happens because of it. As one door closes, another will always open. There was, at one point in time, someone that I had to walk away from. I had been being directed to walk away from this person for like 6 to 8 months. And I really loved this person. I really was hoping that this person could turn things around in a lot of ways in their life. Hi, Rashima. Nice to see you. But ultimately, this person was just going to continue abusing my kindness and my trust, and continue to try to derail my life in the background. And I had to move away from this person. I also knew that this person was the type of person that anything that I had discussed with them, anything that had gone on between us, I knew that they would use everything they had against me the moment that I moved away from this situation. That they would take everything that I had told them, twist it, morph it into whatever they needed to be able to suit their needs, to be able to try to destroy me or tear me down in some sort of way. And you know what? I'm still here. It's, it doesn't matter what they do. They cannot take you off your path and your purpose. They cannot destroy that. They cannot take what truly matters. Page of Swords, Queen of Swords, the Knight of Pentacles. So yeah, you have definitely learned and grown a lot on this journey that you're making. You've learned how to set your boundaries in a more healthy way. You have been very dedicated and committed to your path and to your purpose. You've really learned how to express yourself more honestly, more openly, more bluntly at times. Someone is definitely watching you speak your truth, watching you be authentic, watching you cut off things that aren't for you, watching you go from somebody that was a people pleaser to somebody that is not going to put up with any bullshit anymore. Your communication skills are very effective as well. So I feel like even if people want to be able to derail your progress, even if people want to be able to keep you from achieving your goals, they really can't, because you are too hardworking and because you're very honest, you're very authentic. People feel like they can trust you. People feel like they can talk to you. People feel like they connect to you on a very deep level as well. You definitely have some very counselor-like abilities and skills behind you. You bring a lot of life and light to this world. There's also somebody who may be watching you and wanting to reconcile, wanting to bring things back to life with you, wanting to reconnect in some sort of way. Whoever this person is, this is somebody that really drained you while they were around you. This is somebody who can't speak their mind. This is somebody who does everything that they can do just to get people to like them and isn't really looking to do things in a good way for themselves or for the world around them. They're just doing things to try to appear a certain way. Accomplishments receive recognition. So you're really going to be receiving recognition. You're really going to be accomplishing a lot. And it doesn't matter what these people try to do to stop you or to get in the way of your progress or anything like that. There is definitely a lot of accomplishments that you are achieving and you are gaining recognition for. Family dysfunction. New journey. Sharing your spark. So regardless of what's going on, continuing to share your spark, continuing to share your knowledge, your wisdom, continuing to be who you are and allowing yourself to be seen is going to be the best thing that you can do moving forward. I know that it can be tempting to want to hide away, and it can be tempting to want to just block everyone out and go completely cold and cut everyone off and not have anyone around you because you're worried about things turning out the way they did there. But it's definitely necessary for you to continue to be connected to people. The best thing that you can do in a situation like that would be to follow your heart. And regardless of what anybody else tells you what to do, your intuition knows best what to do. And I really feel like if you're dealing with somebody who's moving extremely slowly, they are really pulling on your energy and they are causing a lot of issues in your life. Cut those people out and don't allow those people to drain you. If you feel like you're tired after dealing with somebody, if you feel like you are just upset, worried or anxious after dealing with somebody, then move away from that energy. Laughter is the best medicine. Eyes on you. Yeah, somebody definitely has eyes on you though. Motives found. The reasons for watching you found. The reasons for whatever they've been doing has been found. Open your heart. So, Working on your heart and working on being able to release the past pain, the past hurt, the past poison that is still in your veins, causing you a lot of hurt and pain and causing you to be in this cold energy, is going to be very beneficial for you. Take some time to just get in touch with your heart. Get in touch with your feelings. Allow yourself to grieve over the past and the losses there. Allow yourself to see that everything that has happened for a reason in the way that it was meant to happen. Even if we are meant to come back together with people, sometimes we're meant to go on a separate journey on our own before we get there, because there's extra lessons that we needed to learn by ourselves before we could come together. Thinking they got away with everything. They think they left no trace of evidence. They are wrong. Wait for it, because it's coming as a huge shock to all around you. You are not crazy. Everyone will know exactly what happened here. Exposure is coming for all involved. Evidence found, and a child may be connected or deciding to come clean. Hi, Yashvi. I think that's how you say that. Hi, nice to see you. So, the motives for something that someone has done, stalking is the biggest thing that's coming to mind here. Watching, trying to derail things in your life, trying to turn people against you, trying to cause fights or arguments around you, trying to sever connections for you, to isolate you, to get you alone. All of those things, the motives are being found for those things that they were doing. And I really feel like there is definitely kind of like an obsessive energy going on here. One that just does not want you to feel like you have anybody, because they feel like if you think that the only person available to you is them, then you will continually put up with their bullshit and continually keep them around, because you would rather have that than being alone. Once you're able to feel comfortable with being alone, and it's okay to be here on your own, and there's nothing wrong with that, you're going to feel a lot more stable as well. And it's going to take a lot of this person's power away and put it back in your hands. So yeah, there is definitely a lot going on with some sort of past connection. This person could definitely be very inspired by you, but this person is also somebody that is looking to kind of suck up your energy and keep it for themselves, when your energy is meant to serve many people, not just one person. And there are some people out there that cannot handle when the person that they love is connected to multiple people emotionally. Everybody talks about how it's emotionally cheating in order to have other connections, but no, that's called healthy. It's called healthy to have other connections. It's called unhealthy and toxic for somebody to keep you from having other connections because of trust issues, jealousy, possessiveness, controlling behavior. I agree. I agree with that assessment that you're in control of your own life and you decide who gets to come and go from it. Well, you don't really decide who gets to come and go from it, but because people will try to push their way in whether you want them there or not. But at the end of the day, you are the one who gets a say on who gets to be beside you on your journey. Honor Gaia and trust in magic. Remember that you can call upon the earth at any time to bring in more stability, more strength, more solidity into your energy. That the earth is behind you. Remember to take care of the earth and give back to the earth in ways as well, because that also ensures that you will be taken care of by the earth. Trust in the magic that is present in your life and all around you. Trust in the signs and the synchronicities that you are seeing. Believe in your own gifts, your own abilities. Believe in your protection, and allow the fear and the anxiety of how much power these people have over you or your life to fall away, in understanding that you have so much power behind you spiritually. A little bit of faith goes a very long ways. and can really let you know that you are not alone, that you are not facing this alone. Their power is nowhere nearly as strong as the power of those that are guiding you in the higher realms on your journey. You have a very important mission in this lifetime, and you make a far bigger impact than you think you do. Hi, Sanch. It's nice to see you again. So let's see what else we have in our messages. Contract severed. Lies revealed. No more waiting for the other shoe to drop. Word has spread. You will come to no harm. The song Protector is coming to mind. You are safe spiritually and physically. Live your life. It's too short to waste. Remember what fun is and start to have some again. Basically what I was just saying. What's the point of living if we are not living? If we're stuck inside of a box because we're afraid to spread our wings and fly, if we aren't meeting people, if we aren't talking to people, if we aren't connecting to the world around us, if we aren't doing the things that we feel drawn to do because we're allowing fear or anxiety to hold us back. And my thing is, when it's our time to go, it's our time to go. When there's something that's meant to happen, it's going to happen. And so there's nothing that we can do that can change the course of destiny. But what we can do is enjoy the ride as we're on it instead of fearing it. There's been a few times throughout my life where it has kind of been proven to me that, this was not my time to be gone from this place. And there's been some fairly dangerous people that I've encountered throughout my life as well. But I'm still here, and I'm still here for a reason, and I had to run into those situations for a reason as well. You have gone through the things that you have gone through for a reason. That reason was not to make you want to close yourself up in a box and hide yourself away from the world. When you feel that fear, let your courage rise to the occasion. The best way to handle or deal with any fears that you have is to face them directly and head on. Once you see that, hey, there was nothing really that I needed to be afraid of in this situation because I'm still here, no worse for wear, doing good. Once you see that fear starts to shrink until it diminishes completely. And definitely there are people who have noticed the things that you have been doing, and they are giving back to you as well on this journey. You are so beautiful. I am beautiful, I am sweet. Knowing me is such a treat. I'm smart and kind, caring too, but you make me feel so blue. Time for a change, a nice retreat. I'm unwilling to fill that seat. I need to rewire, get some rest, so I know I deserve the best. Stomp out those mean voices inside. Time to heal, enjoy the ride. We were just discussing enjoying the ride too. So, you could definitely have been dealing with somebody that was really getting under your skin, making you feel like you had no worth, making you feel like you had no value, breadcrumbing you, ghosting you, constantly watching you and like, oh, hey, I see you right now, and things like that. But at the same time, they weren't making any forward movements or any progression. They were making you feel like you were just the back burner priority in their life. And everything else was more important than you. Kind of stringing you along, maybe even going back and forth on a connection with you while connecting with other people in between, really just making you feel like you were not somebody that was worth putting time, effort, or energy into, while at the same time on the other side of the coin, you could have also had them doing things like trying to sow distrust in you of other people around you, causing you to feel a little bit paranoid about the people in your life, or causing you to want to move away from people that were important to you or people that loved you, that you cared about, and trying to isolate you and cause you to feel like you couldn't rely on or trust anybody but this person was there. They may have even been there for some very important things in your life. They may have been there when you called on them and you needed them, and at the same time they really just weren't there overall. But those couple key times that they were there for you made you feel like they were the one that you could trust. They were the one that you could rely on, and there was nobody else in your corner. But this is bullshit. it's really an illusion to believe that there's nobody there when we need that help. And when we feel that way, we have a tendency to not reach out either. We have a tendency to stop reaching out, to stop connecting to others, to stop trusting people, to start feeling like we can't trust people or the world around us. The Seven of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, and the Knight of Cups. So you've been sowing a lot of seeds, though. In between everything that's been going on, you've been sowing a lot of seeds. You are somebody that people remember very fondly. You're somebody that people would like to connect to on a deeper level. And I feel like you've been keeping a lot of people at an arm's reach because you're unsure of what you want moving forward. You're unsure of who you can trust. It's really going to take some time to get inside of yourself, to face the mirror, to really look at what's triggering you, what's causing you to feel this way, to look at what's real and what isn't, and to really connect with your heart and with nature. And you're going to find a lot of peace by getting out of your head and into your heart and into the nature and the natural world around you. Taking some time for some meditation, some yoga, some chakra cleansing and healing. All of those things are very beneficial for allowing you to find peace and balance within yourself. These seeds that you've been planting are something that are going to bear fruit. You have been working on it for a very long time. It's been a steady, slow journey. But you have also been very committed, very solid, very stable, very faith-based in your approach as well. At times you could feel like you're constantly questioning everything, but deep down you know that the path that you're on and the decisions you're making are the best decisions for yourself, your life, and your journey. And there's definitely a lot of things that you have learned from everything that you've gone through that are going to help you in this next part of the journey as well. You could definitely have been dealing with somebody very emotionally immature as well. Somebody that was just balancing too many things at once. I really feel like you were dealing with somebody that made you feel like you were last on the list, the lowest priority. But you are somebody who is definitely a quality person and you deserve the best. You deserve to have somebody in your life that does not make you look stupid for being loyal, for being committed, for having this level of faith and trust, for having this level of perseverance, the ability to be able to overcome any obstacle that comes your way. The Crow. So we have the Crow out here twice in two different decks, and the Fish. Some of you could definitely be having some dreams right now as well. Dreams about particular people in your life. Trust the visions that you are receiving. Trust the messages that you're receiving. Delve into those dreams a little bit. Check out the meanings of them and what could be causing those dreams. Your dream world has a lot to do with your subconscious mind, the things that you're ignoring in your everyday life or the things that you're not paying attention to. I do actually offer dream interpretations as well. Find my prices for that in the description box below. But you could definitely be having a lot of dreams right now that are leading you in a certain direction. Right now, you're being asked to be a little adaptable, flexible, to be able to go with the flow, to try not to control things and to allow things to play out the way that they're going to play out. To just allow things to fall into place and to have faith and trust that everything you've done up to this point is going to be bringing a lot of rewards in for you. There is a time to stand up and go against the grain, and then there's a time to go with the flow. And right now I feel like it's a time to go with the flow, and I feel like you're going to have everything that you need because everything that you have put out there has been seen. It has been really noticed, appreciated, and it's going to be coming back to you. As we were talking about earlier, you have a lot of accomplishments that are coming into fruition right now. You're going to be receiving a lot of recognition, a lot of accolades, awards, a lot of people that are really noticing how committed you have been, how dedicated you have been, how much honesty and integrity you have within you. Hidden love. So somebody could definitely be hiding their love, whether that's you or someone else. Somebody could be having a hard time expressing their love. Kind of just living in their daydreams about the emotions that they have instead of taking action on those emotions. And it doesn't matter what sex you are. If you want to take action on something, you take action on something. And, you know, express your love. Express your love without fear, worry, anxiety about what's going to come, without expectations in the situation. Allow yourself to express what you hold inside instead of storing it up and burying it. Allowing yourself to express those things is going to open up your throat chakra. It's going to give you more confidence. Even if people do not reciprocate the emotions that you have, it gives you more confidence to be able to express those emotions. And it also helps you to face those fears. And also, there could be somebody who, as well, is hiding love and wants to express it too. False people. A game of chance will play off. Shifts happen. Orbs of light. Rarity. So, you could have dealt with a lot of false people. You could have dealt with people that were pulling on your energy, siphoning what you had to offer. You were giving and they weren't giving back in return, things like that. Your dreams could also be hinting at the false people around you in your life as well. I'm going to grab something else for that false people. Moving into stormy waters, remember self-care. Guard your heart, but not too much. So, you could actually be being false without even realizing it because of the guard that you have placed on your heart, because of the defenses that you have set up and the wall that you have placed around you. You may not be living to your most full, authentic self. You may not be expressing your deepest emotions. You may be holding those back and holding those in because you're worried about an outcome that you can't control, an outcome that isn't as big as you want to make it out to be. Yes, when you express your love and people don't say it back, it does hurt. When people don't feel the same way, it does hurt. When people don't want the same things, it does hurt. But it's not the end of the world. And at least when you express those things, then you know. You know the answer and you know whether or not these people are feeling the same, whether or not these people want the same. You can finally cut that off and move forward instead of allowing it to continue pulling on your energy. And also, part of the reason why you may be having such a hard time expressing these things is because you could have dealt with a lot of very severe betrayals from people. People that used the beautiful essence of your heart and the love that you gave them against you in some sort of fashion so that you don't feel comfortable with expressing your love. Just because you give your love to somebody, just because you have love for somebody, does not mean that you have to give them all of your blind faith and trust and loyalty. What that means is that you're letting them know, hey, I'm feeling this way about you. Are you feeling this way about me too? Maybe we could start to build something, and then you can start to build something. But it doesn't have to all be given right away. And that's where a lot of times we end up in that position of giving everything to somebody and having them take it all but not give anything back. But on the other side of the coin, when we hold it all back like that, we become the takers. When we aren't expressing what's in our heart, when we aren't living authentically, when we aren't willing to give anything because of the hurt and pain we've been through, that's essentially what a taker is. And so in order to balance that out and find a happy medium between giver and taker, we have to go through a lot of healing. And we have to open up our heart again after our heart has been closed because of the pain that it has felt. And it also gives us a lot more of a humble view on what others are going through when they're going through that as well. A less judgmental view of when others are behaving in the ways that are connected to your heart chakra being closed. So before we move on to the next section of this message, I'm going to grab a couple karma cards as well. For some of the people that have betrayed you in the past and have really caused you a lot of pain and hurt through this isolation, through these isolation methods, or through really trying to tear down your self-esteem, your worth, and your value. Let's see what is going to be happening for these people. Craving strange things, dealing with temptations and addictions. Curiosity killed the cat, but satisfaction brought it back. They will have no satisfaction. Appreciation and recognition comes your way, and they have to watch it. They will be treated as a toy, since all they do is play with others. So you definitely dealt with some people that have treated you as if you were a toy. They played games with you. They strung you along, breadcrumbed, ghosted. I tried to isolate you and tear you away from those that loved you. Really tried to get under your skin and trigger you in ways. They were curious, I feel like, about what you would do, how you would react, what would happen if they tried to do these things to you, or if they behaved in certain ways. Would you cut them off, or would you still be there, or whatever the case may be? But this person is not going to gain any more satisfaction from you, because you are going to be cutting this person off. You are going to be living your own life. They are no longer going to be able to affect, even if they come into your life and in and out and they try to play with you or whatever the case may be. You're no longer going to be so emotionally connected to this person. It is not going to affect your self-esteem. It's not going to affect your worth or your value. You're no longer going to be able to be triggered by this person, because you have worked through and healed a lot of those things that caused the pain. Because this person would not have been able to trigger you if there wasn't already wounds there. And so the wounds that you have experienced that allowed you to be able to be triggered by this person are healing. You're growing. You are really learning a lot as well. And appreciation and recognition, once again, is coming towards you for the work that you've been doing, for the patience that you've had, the persistence you've had, the commitment you've had, the faith that you've had. And this person is going to be dealing with some people that are going to be playing with them in the same manner that they tried to play with other people in as well. They are also going to be dealing with a lot of craving strange things, like things that they wouldn't normally do, they're going to be wanting to do. Situations they wouldn't normally get into, they're going to be getting into. And when they get into these situations, they're going to be basically in the same position that you were in, where these people are going to be triggering them. These people are going to be causing them to lose self-confidence and self-esteem. They're going to be causing them to feel like they were used and abused and played with. And then they're going to be going, wait a second, this is what I did to the last person that I dealt with, is I used them, abused them, played with them, and it's not so fun when you're on the other side of that coin. So this person's going to also be dealing with a lot of paranoia, a lot of constant anxiety about who they can trust and who they can't trust, feeling like they've been betrayed as well. They're definitely going to be going through a lot for what they have put you through. Thank you guys for being here today, by the way, and thank you for the support that you show this channel on a regular basis. It really does mean a lot to me, and I hope this message is helping you guys. So let's see what else the guides want to talk about today. Happiness is a choice. This is reminding me of what Yashvi said a little while ago to Rashima. Happiness is a choice. Who should I please at the end of the day? Throwing chaos in the fray. I choose myself to please, and I'm at ease. For I know tomorrow there'll be no regrets, as most people are building their sets. Made for actors come to play, I'll still be here after that day. I choose the road of far too few. I refuse to give my happiness to you. In pleasing others, dreams go to die. You only wind up living a lie. If I die tomorrow, I'll know. So much harvest my seeds will sow. I chose my purpose and went over your head. I will never truly be dead. If you guys want to be able to find this again, you can find this poem on StoryTime in my description box below. Oh, and by the way, I was able to make my last live reading public again. I don't know how or why, but it let me make it public again. So if anybody wanted to be able to go back and watch that one, you can too. So at the end of the day, who is it that you are making choices for? Are you making choices for you, or are you making choices to make other people around you happy? Are you making choices because these people don't think that this person is good enough for you? Are you making choices because, oh, anyone who doesn't have money is just a scrub, and I don't want that bum around me because they could have nothing to offer, except money isn't the best thing that you could offer. There's a lot of things you can offer that are far greater than money in this world, or at least just as good. Are you not going after somebody with money simply because people with money are evil, or, things like that? What biases, what predetermined judgments from this world are you allowing to control your path, or to control the decisions and actions that you are making in your life? What, at the end of the day, is inside of your own heart, and what do you want to do with your time and your life? Where do you feel the most at peace? Where do you feel the best? And not where do you feel in a comfort zone? Because a lot of times what you want is going to cause some fear, some anxiety. It's going to cause you a little bit of worry, a little bit of unsureness. It's going to strike up those fears, and you're going to be tested on your commitment towards facing your fears and overcoming them. Can you please leave my house? Leave. Well, you almost made it out the window. It's right there. Thank you. Sorry, there was a wasp in here. They've been very active the last couple weeks on coming in and out of my house. And then when I first tell them to leave, they run into the window. Usually they run into the window like 10 times before they manage to make their way out of my house. Listen to your intuition. It has proven right too many times not to. It has been proven right too many times not to listen to it. No more caring what others think or demanding proof physically. Find proof if necessary, but act as if you already have it, because you know that your intuition is right. How many times were you proven right? When wrong, how was that feeling different? What fears were controlling you? What delusions, what paranoia was controlling you in the times that you were proved wrong? This is how discernment is developed. You have learned so much, and now it's time to put it to use. So everything that you have gone through, all the hurt, all the pain, all the betrayal, everything that you have faced has all served a purpose. This purpose is to enlighten you. This purpose is to raise your vibration. This purpose is to cause you to be able to see how strong you are and how much you can face. It's also so that you can see how strong your intuition is and how accurate it is. And also so that you can determine when it's your intuition that is beckoning to you and when it's simply fear or paranoia. You're welcome, sweetheart. Thank you for being here. Pay attention to your surroundings. You might notice things that you missed before. Don't be paranoid. Just don't allow yourself to be caught off guard either. Notice and appreciate all the signs that you were given as well. So there's definitely a lot of signs coming into you right now, a lot of synchronicities, a lot of things that are being put there on your path to help you to see what's going on around you and what is real and what is not. I have a feeling that a lot of people viewing this are going to have experienced a lot of spiritual warfare. People trying to kind of get in there and give you false messages spiritually, energetically, however you want to look at it. And so you have had to sort through which signs, which synchronicities, which messages that are coming into you are really messages that are being sent from the higher realms, and which ones are being sent from people that have been trying to attack your crown chakra. That's also why meditating, yoga, doing Reiki. All of those things are great ways to bring yourself back into alignment and out of other people's energetic fields, protecting your energy, cleansing your energy, shielding yourself, return to senders, transmuting energy that's coming your way, all of those things. And also praying for the healing of the people that are doing this. All of those things are very beneficial ways to be able to overcome this, and it really does help. They a hoe. Stop trusting hoes to have your highest good in mind. Have your own highest good in mind. Abby Anderson, Make Him Wait, is coming to mind. Do what you feel and want, but also keep your heart in mind too. If you know that your emotions get connected easily, there is nothing wrong with that, but don't jump in too quickly either. Watch their actions and not just their words. But watch their words and not just their actions. Read the energy, the body movements, and the emotional responses. Check in with your soul, your higher self, and your guides. Think before acting. So, just like when we're getting ready to have a conversation with somebody about a touchy subject, and we want to make sure to be in a calm state of mind, the same thing goes with when we are dealing with our heart and jumping into something with somebody. We want to make sure that we take some time to find some peace within and to really get in touch with ourselves, because it's best to make the decision not just based on your mind and not just based on your heart, but with your mind and your heart both connected into it together. That wasp came back. Can you please leave? Leave. Go. Get out of my house. Anyway, he's now smacking into the window repeatedly before he leaves. So, it's time to really ask yourself if the person that you're putting in time and energy to is also putting in time and energy to you. If the person that you are putting time and energy into is respecting your boundaries, is respecting you as a person, whether or not they are hiding you from the world, different kinds of things like that. Really look at and assess what's going on in the situations that you're entering into. Everybody's like, oh, keep all your business private. Make sure that you don't tell anybody that you're in a new connection with anybody, because then they can destroy it. I've found that when you keep those things private, usually it ends up being a very big mistake, because those things were private. And so when something happens, nobody knows what was going on in that situation. So, no, keeping things private is not necessarily the best thing. Having somebody that actually wants to let people know that, hey, this is my person, isn't afraid to do that, isn't running around lying to everybody, telling them that they're single while they're telling you behind closed doors that they're with you. Yeah, that happens. So, no, I don't necessarily think keeping everything hidden is the way to go. If there's nothing to hide, then there's nothing to hide, and it shouldn't be hidden. Protect the wild and the green. And if you're with somebody that, time to ground, and if you're with somebody that is actually going to be able to make it through the storms with you, then no matter what anybody is throwing at you guys, you'll be able to make it through the storms. So it doesn't matter if people are attacking your situation, because you will battle that battle together. Me and my ex, when we first got together, my ex-husband, the father of my kids, we were actually together for about 10 years. When we first got together, though, the amount of jealousy and animosity that was being thrown our way constantly was ridiculous. It was at a ridiculously high level. We both worked at the same place, and there was another couple that worked there too, and they worked together all the time because, you know, they were a couple. And so we generally did most of our work separate, but we did do some of the things together, especially after I got pregnant and I was put on a weight restriction. We were stocking the shelves at a store. And so because of this weight restriction, he was coming over and throwing the bigger items on my aisle because I was throwing the bulk aisles. But those aisles had the least amount of freight, and they also had a lot of the lighter stuff. There was a few things that was a little bit heavier, so he was coming over and down stacking them for me so that I wasn't lifting those big boxes, and then I was going over and helping him down stack his aisle. And then we were going back to our aisles and throwing our aisles. And I'll also say this much. For up until that point, I had been throwing his aisle on his nights off. We had the same nights off now, but he was the only one in the entire store that could throw that aisle besides me. On his nights off, I was throwing that aisle and I was finishing it. After he was gone from that store, they had to have 4 people a night throwing that aisle, and they still weren't finishing it half the time. So we were working our asses off. It's not like we were screwing around or anything like that. We were working our asses off. But there was a lot of people that were constantly complaining about us. There was a lot of people that were constantly trying to get us written up. There was this one chick that worked there that was in an abusive relationship, and she was really just, yeah. You came back again. Go away. But anyway, this chick comes up to me, and at this point, I'm 4 months pregnant, and she starts talking about how I heard that you're talking shit about me, and I'm going to beat your ass, and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, oh, really? And she's sitting there talking about how it's been going on for months now, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, if it's been going on for months now, then how come you waited until I was 4 months pregnant to bring it to my attention and tell me that you're going to beat my ass? Why don't we go outside right now, and I'll smash your fucking face into the pavement? I was a little bit more volatile then. And she's like, oh, well, no, I didn't. And yeah, anyway, we ended up stopping, and I talked to the manager about it. Next thing I know, he's like, oh, well, I'll talk to her about it and blah, blah, blah. I was like, it's bullshit that she's coming up to me while I'm 4 months pregnant, threatening to beat my ass for bullshit that never even happened, because I mind my own business. I'm not busy running around talking about everybody. I mind my own fucking business. And a little while later, I noticed that that manager's talking to her, and she's busy flirting with them, and they're laughing and giggling and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, you know what, screw this, I'm out of here. And I left. My ex was like, you know what, you were planning on leaving here in a couple months anyway, so that you could stay at home with the baby. And if this is causing you that much stress, you just need to go. But basically, the whole time that we were working there and seeing each other, everybody was constantly trying to tear us apart. Everyone was constantly messing with us, constantly trying to get us in trouble, all that kind of stuff. But it really didn't affect us and what we had going on, because we didn't allow anybody to get inside of what we had going on and destroy it. And that's the thing, is you can actually not allow people into it and allow them to destroy it. When you get into a situation with somebody and you guys are starting to see each other, and all their friends are busy being jealous because of what's going on, or all your friends are doing that, whatever the case may be, you got various friends trying to get one or the both of you to go to bed with them, or getting pissed off because you wouldn't go to bed with them, whatever the case may be, and they're able to get into your ear and turn you against each other, then that is not a situation that's going to be able to survive any kind of storm. And I would think that you would want to know beforehand whether or not it was going to. And if you get into a relationship and everybody has to not have any friends, or has to not be able to talk to anybody about anything, that's a very toxic and unhealthy situation anyway. So no, hiding it is not the best way to go. Keeping it only amongst yourselves is not the best way to go. Secluding yourselves and isolating yourselves from the rest of the entire world, not the way to go. Being able to be in the world and still being able to be strong together, that's the way to go. And when you have somebody that wants to hide your relationship from the world, why do they want to hide it from the world? Is it only because other people can get in it and mess it up? Or is it because they aren't being honest with anybody else either, and they're telling everybody that they're single, and they're running around with anybody and everybody that'll give them the time of day, which definitely happens on a fairly regular basis. Protect the wild and green, time to ground. So once again, with taking care of the natural world around you, when you put into the natural world around you, the natural world around you puts back into you too. You can gain a lot of peace of mind by sitting in nature, by reading under a tree, by swimming in the lake or the river, by allowing yourself to be in the natural world like that and to just find that peace away from everything, it really does help you to get into your own energy, to be able to feel your own heart, to be able to know your own mind. When you're around so much other energy all the time, and there's never any time for just your energy, then you don't know as well what energy that you are acting on. Is it yours, or is it the energy of everyone around you? If you don't separate your energy a little bit, detach a little bit, if you don't protect your energy, shield your energy, then you are carrying around a lot of energies with you. And those energies can cause you to act in ways that you might not even act if you were in your own energy. So taking some time to ground, to find your peace, to find your center, is going to allow you to listen more strongly to your intuition as well, and to really sense what is going on here. The Five of Pentacles, the Magician, and the Nine of Cups. Feeling lost, left out, feeling unworthy, feeling like you have no value, feeling like you don't have enough to give. All of those things are things that can really affect the decisions you're making as well. Say you feel like you don't have enough money because, everybody's like, oh, somebody who doesn't have any money, they're just a bum, they're just a scrub, you shouldn't be giving any time to that person. Those people are disgusting, they're just a gold digger, or whatever the case may be. If you listen to that crap all the time and you're somebody who has no money, what do you think that voice is telling you inside your head? That you're a scrub, that you're worthless, that you don't have anything to offer because you have no money. That all your value is based off of money, and since you have none, you're nothing. That's why it's important to get into your own energy as well. What do you really feel about that situation? That's also why it's important to make sure that you feel good about yourself. Because if you're going into a situation feeling that way, and say you're somebody who has no money and you're running into somebody who has more money. They may not have things to offer that you have to offer, but they have money to offer and you don't have money to offer, but you have many other things to offer. Are you going to feel good about the things that you have to offer? Or are you going to feel like the things that you have to offer are not nearly as good as the things that they have to offer, even if the things that they have to offer are not that great, but they do got money? The one thing that you've been told is so important in this world. Remember that no matter what situation you go into, and no matter who you are and who the other person is, everybody has something to offer. And it may not be the same something as somebody else has to offer. Some people who have no money to offer are very amazing people who have amazing qualities to put on the table. And some are scrubs who are bums looking to live off of other people. Some people who have money to offer are amazing people who do a lot of philanthropy, who are really there to lift up the world around them, and others are there to control people, possess people, manipulate people using their money. So both sides of those coins have a good side and a bad side, just like anything else in the world. So really, also assessing and knowing that even when you feel alone, you are not alone. Knowing that no matter what you feel like you're lacking, you have everything. And you really are, you could create anything in your life. If you're wanting a change in your life, you're the one who holds the keys to create those changes. You have all the skills, the tools, and the knowledge and the abilities necessary to be able to create the life that you desire, to make your wishes come true. But making your wishes come true really does require a very strong sense of self. Self-confidence, self-esteem, self-love, boundaries, being able to feel like you are emotionally fulfilled in and of yourself, regardless of what's going on outside of yourself. As long as you have you, you're okay. Really being able to feel like you are worthy of love, as well. And also, I feel like a lot of you are going to end up getting a very big shock, because you may feel like you're alone and you don't have many people around you. There's nobody that really appreciates you or loves you or cares about you. But you may actually get a very big surprise that there are more people around you that care about you than you think there is. Remember, judgment usually means that there is something within you that you are not accepting. So, like we were talking about, when you are judging others, look inside yourself. Say when you are judging scrubs who have no money, are you that scrub that has no money? And are you judging yourself just as harshly, if not more harshly? Because usually we're our own worst critics. No matter how much we judge other people, we will never judge them as much as we judge ourselves. So whatever standard you're holding the outside world to, you are holding yourself to that same standard too. And if you're not meeting that standard, then you feel like you are not good enough. So if you're feeling like you lack in some way, you're feeling like you're having a hard time loving yourself, if you're feeling like nobody else loves you and you're not worthy of love or care, that's because of some sort of judgment-based energy that you have going on inside of you. And you can find it easier by looking at how you judge others, because sometimes it's very hard to be able to see how we're judging ourselves until we look at that. Having a hard time freeing myself of the past and letting go of the pain. An abundance of positive energy flows within you and to others around you. So, you really do have a lot of positive energy, a lot of joy, a lot of love, a lot of light to give to the world, a lot of beauty to give to the world. But it may be being masked. It may be being drowned out by this negative lower vibrational energy that is taking hold inside of you, causing you to feel like you don't have anything to offer, or causing you to feel like what you have to offer is not good enough. There could have definitely been situations that you went through with other people that triggered these things, that triggered you to feel like people were walking away from you because you lacked in some sort of way. People weren't walking away from you because of what you lack. They were walking away from you because of things inside of themselves, their own judgments, their own biases. And those things are eating them away as much as they are you. The best thing that you can do is focus on yourself and healing yourself when it comes to situations like that. Indecision clears. Smoke and mirrors are gone. Strange things are happening. And every time I see that, I start thinking of Toy Story. Strange things are happening. There could definitely be a situation as well where something shiny and new came into play. New person moved in, new situation came about, something along those lines where it felt like you were being eclipsed, where it felt like you didn't matter anymore. And this could have been what was triggering these feelings of inadequacy as well, overlapping. Play your cards close to your chest. So yeah, you were feeling like you had to hide what you were doing as well. Feeling like, and when we're feeling like we have to hide what we're doing, we also feel like there's something wrong with what we're doing. Why are you feeling there's something wrong with what you're doing? Is it actually wrong? Or is it just something that you are perceiving as wrong in some sort of way, or that you feel like the rest of the world will see as wrong in some sort of way? Charisma gets you far. Crying is good for the soul, and so is laughter. Plant your seeds with care. Pace yourself. A journey takes more than one day. So, it could also be that things are not going as quickly as you would like them to. That it seems like the seeds that you have planted just are not sprouting. You know what? I planted some miniature rose seeds recently. It's been like a month and a half or so, and there's not one leaf popping up out of that dirt yet. And I keep thinking, I don't know if these are going to grow. I don't know if these are going to grow. Maybe I should just go get a bigger size rose plant and stick in there so I know what's going on with it. It takes time. It takes time. It takes patience. It takes dedication and commitment when it comes to things. And questioning things is a normal thing. It happens. It happens to question things. But when you question things, remember to quiet your mind. Remember not to allow yourself to go into a spiral, because you can very easily go into overthinking constantly and over questioning constantly, creating these crazy vivid stories in your head of what's going on. Things like that. There could also even be a situation where there was overlapping taking place, considering we have this hose message here, and considering we had some energy of dealing with people that were trying to keep you isolated or trying to hide relationships or things like that. So, or being indecisive about it, not really knowing what they want, and really 1 foot in, 1 foot out, and not really telling anybody about what's going on with the two of you and things like that. There could definitely have been a situation that you were dealing with where there was an overlap. Somebody was with somebody else while they were with you, and they were hiding it from the both of you. And if that's the case, you already knew. Your intuition was cluing you in and hinting at it all the time, but you weren't wanting to listen to it because your emotions were so on this person. They weren't on yourself. They weren't feeling like you were worthy or valuable. They were feeling like this person was worthy and valuable, and you had placed this person on a pedestal to where you weren't even regarding the messages that your own soul was sending you about what was going on in this situation. But things are definitely going to be being uncovered. The reasons for indecisions are going to be seen. I really feel like you might have been very indecisive as well in some of the decisions that you were making in your life because of your own preconceived notions or judgments, or because of your judgments of the world around you, or because of worrying what people are going to think, what they're going to say, how they're going to treat you, things like that. So you may not have been making the decisions that were healthiest for you because you knew that a lot of people were going to move away from you once you started doing what was best for you. And if they do, then those people are not the best people to have in your life anyway, because those people are not for you. Those people are for themselves. In between messages, I just want to say a thank you to anybody who supports this channel in whatever way that you do. You guys are amazing, and I truly appreciate that. If you guys wanted to be able to donate or purchase a question, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list all in the description box below. And I truly appreciate each and every one of you who does those things. Whether it's that or whether it's liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, all of those kinds of things help, and I really do appreciate you guys. So let's see. A good leader can excuse themselves when they feel like it's necessary. They can make fair and impartial decisions. They can stand behind the people who follow them, and when necessary, they make the even harder decision of standing against them when they are wrong. It can be a lonely position to be in, but it doesn't have to be. You are an amazing leader, so don't let them make you question that. Exactly. And feeling like you are this amazing leader, knowing your power, knowing your strength, and knowing the fact that not everybody is going to love you. Some people are going to be angry with you at times. Some people are going to be upset with you at times. Some people are going to disagree with you or your values or your opinions or your beliefs. Some people are going to challenge you. Some people are going to compete with you, whether you're competing or not. There is going to be a lot that you're going to have to face, and a lot of it you're going to have to face alone. But don't let that mean that you are lonely or that there's something wrong with you, because there isn't. It takes a lot to be able to stand strong, and especially to stand strong against things alone. We blame all types of people for creating monsters. Why not ourselves? Olivia Benson from SVU said that. We shouldn't blame anyone but the monster, technically. We all have a choice. Understanding is good, but excusing actions of someone by blaming others is not okay. You might feel like your actions created a monster, or someone else's actions created a monster that you have dealt with, but they still had a choice in the matter. Are you a monster? How many monsters have you dealt with without giving in to your dark sides? Sometimes we all make mistakes, and sometimes it hurts others, but there's a difference between making a few mistakes and becoming a monster who is deliberately hurting other people. One thing that happened recently that I found out about, my ex's nephew was molesting and then progressively moved his way into raping his younger sister from 4 to 14. And he was 9 when it started, so he was 5 years older than her. So technically, it was 19 and 14 for part of it too. If nothing else, that's statutory. But everybody's like, oh, well, what happened to him to make him that way? Well, yes. And at the same time, this is the same kid, by the way. When I first met my ex, shortly after we got together, and I had already heard some stories about this kid, we were living with my ex's brother at the time, and his kids came up to visit. And the first night that they were there was a lot of other family there, so we were over next door at his parents' house, and we were eating dinner and stuff like that. And I went back over to the house to grab a drink for me and my ex. And when I opened the refrigerator, it was dark in the whole house except for one lamp in the living room. And I opened the refrigerator in the kitchen right next to the living room, and all of a sudden I heard a noise, and I look over, and in the dark corner of the living room, because the lamp was on in the exact opposite corner of that living room facing the wall, so there was just a barely a glow of light around his nephew, who was sitting on that couch with a loaded gun in his hand, cocking it and uncocking it, and cocking it and uncocking it. And so I grabbed the drinks and I closed the fridge and I went back next door, and I was like, you know, I don't know if he's supposed to be over there playing with your brother's gun, but he is. And at the time, this kid was like 11 or so. And so he's like, yeah, that sounds a little creepy. And you know what? I don't think he's supposed to be doing that. So he talks to his brother, and his brother's like, oh yeah, I told him he could play with the gun, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you do realize that that's a loaded gun, and you're just allowing him to play with it over there by himself. What? So fast forward a little ways. Another incident that happened with this kid. We're looking for our brand new baby kitten, and this kitten's like baby kitten, brand new baby kitten, like 6 weeks old maybe. And looking all over the house for it, and we walk into the kid's bedroom at the other end of the house, and this kid turns around, and he's holding this cat with a knife pointed at its face. So there's another incident. And then at some point he was going out to the shed on the property, or well, it was on the neighbor's property, but it was like right outside our house pretty much, with his younger sister by himself. And me and my ex were like, oh no, there's no reason for you guys to be going out to that shed by yourselves. We don't know what the fuck is going on out there, but you guys don't need to be out there by yourselves. So we talked to the other kids. Those guys are not allowed over there by themselves. And come to find out years later, that we just found out about recently, that was one of the places that he was abusing her. So also his grandmother used to tell everybody constantly, every time those kids, we lived in the middle of nowhere out there, and so nobody locked their doors. But every time those kids came to stay, she locked her doors, because she just knew that he was going to go on a killing spree one day, and he was going to start with her. So everybody except for his dad and his mom, and actually his mom questioned it at one point, pretty much knew there was something wrong with this kid. And his mom actually called me one of the times they came to visit for summer after he went home, because him and his brother were arguing one day, and his brother ends up waking up with a knife underneath his pillow. And his mom ends up finding a video game that they were arguing about in the freezer, broken in half with a pair of women's underwear wrapped around it. And she called me to see if those were my underwear. And I was like, no, those aren't my underwear. Good luck finding whose they belong to. Apparently, his stepfather was actually doing those things and lying about it, scapegoating him, making him look like this evil, crazy monster, causing everybody to hate him and disbelieve him, separating him from the family. So what are the odds that his stepfather might have been abusing him? But does that excuse the fact of what he did to his younger sister? No, it doesn't. Not at all. Because I was abused, and I didn't choose to start abusing children because I was abused as a child. You still have a choice in the matter. You still know what's right and wrong. Look how much that person hurt you. Now, are you going to take that and you're going to go hurt other people in the same way? Or are you going to be the type of person that never wants to see anybody ever hurt the way that you were? And that's the difference. So regardless of whether or not you want to feel bad for this monster who has hurt you, regardless of whether or not you can understand and empathize and have compassion, that does not excuse their behaviors and their actions towards you. An abuser is still an abuser. And there's a difference between an abuser and an enabler, but an enabler can be just as bad sometimes. The enabler is the one who wants to excuse all of their actions because they were hurt at some point in their life. 1:11:22 is on the clock when I looked up just now too. Being able to understand that and accept that is a very important thing. It is hard to really hate somebody who has been abused so much and so severely, and then they take that abuse and put it on someone else. Because you're like, well, you know, they went through so much, it was so hard for them, it hurt. Yes, it did. But so did the people who they hurt. They went through so much. It was hard on them, it hurt. And they chose to do that, even though they knew that it hurt, even though they knew it would be hard on those people, even though they knew what it felt like to be in those people's shoes, they still chose to do that. And that's not okay. If you want my honesty, that's even less okay than somebody who was never abused doing that, because they don't even know what it feels like. So technically, I mean, if you really want to get technical, that seems worse. And not, because it's still abuse either way. But so overcoming any kind of toxicity, overcoming any kind of temptations, you've really been working hard to break free of the chains that have kept you bound. And I feel like a lot of the chains that have kept you bound is this enabling behavior, is this wanting to excuse the actions of others because it's because of the abuse that they suffered or endured or went through and the pain of that. Breaking free of this enabling energy, breaking free of allowing yourself to be used or abused because you feel in some way you deserve it, or because you feel like this person may change, or whatever the case may be. Really being able to stop and look at things from a different perspective as well. Realizing how far you've come. Realizing how much you have overcome. How much you have really broke free from. Recognizing yourself, accepting yourself, loving yourself. Knowing that victory is yours already at this point in time. You don't even have to go to the future to see your victory, because it's already yours. Everything that you've overcome, everything that you've broke free from, all the cycles and chains of abuse and toxicity that you have broken out of, the fact that you have not become an abuser simply because of the abuse that you endured. The fact that when you saw those traits coming out in you or things coming up, that you worked hard to heal and to grow so that you didn't end up putting people through the same thing that you went through. You are fucking amazing to do that. And not everybody does it. Wash away your burdens. Observe in silence. So, the Wash Away Your Burdens card is reminding me of that energetic healing, protection, and cleansing again. One of my more favorite ways to do that is when you're in a shower, you can kind of close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. And as you're taking these breaths and the water is washing over you, you can imagine all of the negative energy, all of the lower vibrational energy, all of the pain or trauma of the world and everything you've gone through, all the interactions that you've had with people that were tense, all of it just washing down the drain, and all of your muscles relaxing, your body becoming calm, feeling at peace and at ease. And as you allow all of that to wash away, you start to see yourself filling up with light, that peace, that love, that joy, calling back all the pieces of your soul and your energy to yourself, and then protecting that energy. And the way that I like to do it is I like to envision a crystal ball around my energy, holding my energy and myself within it, safe and at peace. Little pieces of mirror around the outside of that to anything that comes my way that is not good goes right back to anybody who's sending it out. Any of that lower vibrational energy can go right back home where it needs to be, and I'm in my own energy. Being centered and balanced and in your own energy is very important for being able to break free of those cycles, for being able to release yourself. And also, not worrying so much about whether or not people think that what you're doing is taboo or wrong is going to be very important as well. Observe things in silence. Take a few moments to really stop, to pause, and to take some time to look at things from a different perspective, to understand things from a different perspective. You're very intelligent. You have a lot of intelligence. You have a lot of wisdom within you. Being able to stop and look at things from a different perspective is going to help you to see things in a new way. Look at things from the outside of yourself. And Through Heaven's Eyes is the song that just popped in my mind. I really do love that song. And it's very true. A lot of times we do not see how amazing we are. We see how amazing other people are. But we don't really stop to notice how amazing we are. And being able to see things from another perspective helps us to be able to give ourselves credit where credit is due. Credit that we may have been denying ourselves. And that credit is very important as well. The elk and the scorpion. And if there have been times in your life where, because of the onslaught of things going on around you, the abuse that you've endured, the hurt and the pain that you have endured, where you have lashed out at others in similar ways, you know, you try to be so forgiving and compassionate and understanding of other people. Sometimes you deserve a little bit of that yourself as well. And once again, though, that doesn't excuse the behaviors. That doesn't excuse what happened. But being able to apologize for it and mean your apology. Being able to work on healing and growing so that you are not repeating those same patterns. That is what separates you from the people that continue the cycle and continue to be the abuser and the herder and the one that destroys lives around them. The one that notices, hey, this isn't right, and works to rectify those things within themselves and the world around them. That's the one who deserves the recognition. Nobody is perfect, and nobody's ever going to be perfect, but being able to see things from another perspective, you can acknowledge and recognize those things within yourself that need to be healed so you don't end up becoming that monster like the other monsters have been in your life. You have a lot of strength within you, a lot of perseverance, a lot of stability within you. And you have the ability to face things head on and to overcome them. Everybody has a choice in that, though, whether or not we choose to work on ourselves, whether or not we choose to acknowledge those things, whether or not we choose to heal those things before they become a bigger problem or issue. And even some people have actually gone into that energy and they had to hit rock bottom. They had to be punished severely for whatever they did. They had to be in some way held responsible and accountable for their actions before they would work to change anything. So some people, even after they have become that and went completely into that side, they have been able to pull themselves back out as well. That does happen too at times. I really feel like there's a lot of recognition coming in for you, though. Recognition on your success, recognition on the patterns that you're breaking, the cycles that you're breaking, your ability to pull yourself out of that energy, your ability to choose the higher road. The road less traveled by Order to Profit is coming to mind right now. That one's been coming up a lot lately. Think simple. Uncover your heart. Seems simple. Dedicated. No more self-hate or self-harm. Just go with the flow. Stop the self-sabotage. No more drowning. Reminder, you need love too. Who are you? Who am I? Believe that you are here for a reason. Are you what they dictate or what you feel to be true? Always do your best. I'm still standing, Elton John. Always do your part. Just keep swimming. So, when you are doing your best, remember to recognize yourself. Remember to give you a pat on the back, to be proud of yourself. All you can do is your best. And sometimes we can feel like our best is not enough. Like it just isn't adding up. Like maybe we are capable of far more, or there's just a lot of things that can really bring you down. And there's a lot of times where you can really start feeling like you are the biggest monster of them all. And remember to look at the monsters that you've dealt with in your life and to look how far you've come. Because even if you have given in to some of those lower vibrational energies at times, you have worked extremely hard to be able to change those cycles, to break those cycles, to release yourself, to free yourself from that path, to free yourself from the pain, the hurt, and the trauma, so that you aren't giving that same pain, hurt, and trauma back to others. And at times you may have hurt others. There is not one person on this earth who has gone through life and never hurt anyone. Everyone has hurt somebody at some point. That doesn't make you a monster either. What an actual monster is somebody who is hurting people, knowing they're hurting people, continuing to hurt people, doesn't really care about how they're hurting people or the destruction they're causing around them, has no worries about it, and really could care less about the lives they're ruining. That's what creates more of a monster. Somebody who cares as much as you do about what you're doing and trying to make sure that you are healing so you aren't causing any more pain, that's not a monster. Just like a lot of our parents who, yes, we went through a lot of toxicity or abuse from in our childhood. Ask yourself what they went through in their childhood, because a lot of them went through far worse, and they were trying to do things in a different way than their parents and ended up causing different problems because they didn't know how to handle things without handling them the same way their parents did. But they didn't want to do that. They didn't want to be that monster. And so they kind of ended up being a different version of a monster in some ways. But they were doing the best they could, and they were trying to do things right by you because they loved you. While at the same time, that doesn't necessarily mean we're always acting right. Just because love is our intention and our intentions are pure does not mean that everything we are doing is going to be love-filled, light-filled, and completely beautiful. Sometimes there's still going to be some hurt and pain left in the wake. It doesn't excuse those things that happened, But it gives you some empathy and compassion for yourself and others on that. And at the same time, the only time that that's okay is when you're not using that to blame your own actions on anything else or to justify them. When you know something's wrong, admit it and do things to try to heal yourself so that you aren't continuing that cycle. And I feel like that's what a lot of you have been doing, is learning how to turn that cycle around and learning how to really be in a higher vibration. You are starting to notice and break karmic cycles. Exactly. Patterns handed down through time. Accept that your parents did the best that they could at the time with the tools that they had. They loved you and they tried to show it, although most didn't even know what love really was. Neither did you. Forgive yourself as a parent or a partner, even who didn't know how to love. Forgive your partners too. Pray for healing for yourself and for all, and lead your way to victory. You have it within you to heal. Spread your story, inspiring others as you go and really making an impact, but only through acceptance of yourself and others as human, and forgiveness of the past mistakes and harmful beliefs or actions. Can you acknowledge and lead a new way of love as a light worker? So, being able to acknowledge that people loved you even if they did hurt you, being able to acknowledge that you loved others even if you hurt them, is something that's very important as well, because generally there is a lot of people that are hurting on this earth. And everybody really has been trying to do the best they could with the tools they had at the time. And you know what? This day and age, there's less of an excuse for it because there's tools everywhere. You can find what you need to find to be able to heal, to grow, to be able to see what is the best way to do things moving forward. Although you do have several opinions about, you still have a lot of people, even today, that are running around claiming that the only way to deal with children is to beat them. Because if you don't beat them, then they're not disciplined and they treat everybody with disrespect. No. You want to know why my kids respect me? Because I sit and talk to them. So they sit and talk to me. Beating, intimidating, fear, those things are not something that is good, that's actually going to help anybody. Your kids or yourself. First off, all you're teaching them is that when somebody's doing something they don't like and they want to control the situation, just beat them and you'll get what you want. Because that's what the parents did. They beat them and they got what they want. And that's not a good way of thinking. But that's also what everybody was raised to believe. Spare the rod, spoiled the child, right? Wrong. Tips for taming your temper. Think before you speak. It's easy to say what you will regret later on. Take a few minutes to collect your thoughts before saying anything. Allow others involved to do the same thing. There's nothing wrong with taking a break for a minute so everybody can get into their right mind and be feeling calm when you approach the situation. Once calm, express your anger. As soon as you have a clear thinking process, express your frustrations in an assertive but non-confrontational way. State your concerns and your needs clearly and directly without hurting others or trying to control them. So being able to take some time to think about things before you act on them is a very important thing, and it really does help you to be able to act in a much better way when you do that. We have Justice, the Knave of Pentacles, and the Knight of Wands. Expressing the truth about people being in and out, hot and cold, on and off, not really knowing what they want, and how that makes you feel. There's definitely justice coming in. Things are going to be set right. There's going to be truths exposed and seen. There's going to be a lot of things coming out. A lot of things that are going to be noticed that were missed before. You're really learning, you're understanding what it is that you want, what it is that you desire, and how to achieve that. You're also learning how to be more honest with yourself and the world around you as well about what your desires are. But what that requires as well is to not be ashamed of what your desires are, to not feel guilty about what your desires are, to know that what your desires are is perfectly normal, and that You have a right to want things. Another thing that beating children does is make sure that they feel like they can never have anything that they want, and that it's not okay to want anything. Letting go. Experience is the bright side. No more hiding. So it's time to expose things that have been going on. It's time to expose who you truly are. This indecision is caused, this unclear knowing of what you want or where to go or what you should be doing or what you should be working on or what makes you happy or what brings you inspiration or passion into your life. A lot of the reason that you don't know what that is because you are hiding parts of yourself, the parts of yourself that you feel ashamed of, the parts of yourself that you feel guilty about, the things about you that you don't like or don't want to share or express with other people. The bright side is that you have learned a lot from everything that you have gone through. And I feel like also you may have been hiding a lot of the things that you have gone through, and that has really affected a lot of things in your life as well. It's time to let it all go. It's time to forgive. It's time to release, and it's time to move forward, knowing that what you have learned from the situations that you have been in is a lot of the good part, the silver lining on those clouds. Sometimes it takes a lot to be able to find good things in a situation, but one good thing that you can always find from every situation is the experience that you gained, the wisdom that you gained, the knowledge that you gained. Parents' actions revealed. Overstating. Listen to the signs. Justice served. Patience. So, there's definitely going to be actions that are being revealed. Somebody could have been really defending themselves, preemptively defending themselves in some cases. There could have been some scapegoat energy. There could have been some things that were said that were kind of blown out of proportion or that were exaggerated a bit as well. Justice is going to be being served. Like I said before, there is definitely some karma that is getting ready to take place here, and it's time to really just let go of things, to wash your hands clean, to know that karma always balances things out. Even if sometimes it feels like it's never going to happen and they're never going to get anything for what they've done or what they've put me through or whatever the case may be, karma always balances things out. Letting go and allowing things to be okay the way that they are right now is definitely something that speeds that up a bit too. Because when we hold on to it so tightly, that energy is with us. But when we let it go, it can go back where it belongs. So let's see what justice is being served here in this situation as well. There could have even been a parent that was cheating on somebody too. Careful actions protected them for a bit, but they will make a mistake soon. Wait for it. Everything they touch will fall apart. There could be some jail time or tickets in the near future. They can't stop you, but they will be stopped. People will be whispering about them. Gossip will surround all of their business. Cruelty and abuse will have its day. Return to sender. Stabbed in the back by those that they trusted the most. So, you could definitely have been stabbed in the back by your own parents even. Scapegoated. Used as a means to an end in some sort of way. This parent could have definitely made some preemptive strikes to make sure that nobody believed you, to make sure that everybody thought that you were a liar. They could have tried to stop you from leveling up or progressing in your life because they felt like you thought you were better than them, for some of you as well. But everything that they've done, all these things that they have carefully concocted and constructed to make it look like they were this perfect being and you were the dirt beneath their feet, all of that is falling down around their heads at this point. people are really going to be seeing the truth, and their actions are going to be being exposed. The way that they behaved, the things that they did, why they did those things, why they wanted to stop you, why they felt like they needed to attack you in some sort of way is going to be being exposed. There's going to be a lot of people talking about them, gossiping about them, really all up in their business, constantly looking at them with judgment, hate, things like that. There could definitely be, for the ones who did worse things, there could definitely be some jail time or some tickets in the near future. And the cruelty and abuse that they put out towards others is going to be coming back on them as well. You know, there's a lot of times that people in, the first thing that popped in my mind was people in an older folks home where they end up being abused by the people that work there and stuff like that. You know, there could actually end up being somebody that ends up in a nursing home and ends up being abused as well. You never know what those people did to incur the karma that they got at the end of their lives. I'll put it this way. My uncle, he was not a very good man. The end of his life was an extremely painful process. So he definitely got what was coming to him. And at the very end of his life, his ashes were thrown in the trash because nobody could afford to purchase his ashes, basically. Nobody could afford to pay the crematorium for cremating him. So they threw his ashes in the trash. And when my mom was talking about it and she was really upset about it, I was like, you know, Mom, I love you and I know you loved your brother, but at the same time, to me, that kind of sounds like karma. Throughout his entire life, he threw everybody in the trash over money. And then at the end of his life, he was thrown in the trash over money. I mean, think about this for a second. That's like literally poetic justice right there, Mom. How many times did he throw you in the trash over money and tell you, well, if you didn't have all these kids, then maybe you would actually have something in life, and hold his money over your head and all that other kind of crap. And you know what? At the end of his life, he had absolutely nobody in his life because he didn't have any kids. Oh, wait, he had one kid who he never had anything to do with throughout his entire life. And at the end of his life, he had absolutely nobody there for him. But he was never there for anybody at all throughout his life either. He used and abused everybody and got everybody to be there for him in whatever way, but he was never there for anybody in return either. He actually lived with us for about 6 months while he was getting back on his feet after he was overcoming an addiction to heroin. And still, he sat there and constantly told my mom, if you didn't have all these kids, you wouldn't have this problem, and I'm not helping you because you made your choices and blah, blah, blah. She helped you. You made your choices. What's any different about you making your choices and her making her choices? Hi, Nevaeh. Nice to see you again. So we're going to go ahead and get one more message here, and then we're going to close it out for today. Let's see what the last things that they want to talk about today are. Don't be careless in your connections. Be discerning of who you allow into your energy. You are responsible for the choices that you make and what you allow into your life. Know who and what you are, and make sure that you aren't accepting less than what you are worth. Don't allow others to continue walking over you. So yes, it's really time to put those boundaries down and to, you know, if you want to be a part of my life, then you'll respect me. And if you can't respect me, then you can get the fuck out of my life, because I don't need that shit around here. Nighttime lover, daytime ghost. My heart beats faster, but you only come at night. I know it's a disaster. I try so hard to fight. You keep me so distant, but you make me melt in an instant. Why can't you just be real and show what you feel? Why must you drink to reveal what you think? When morning comes, I'm alone. You return to your zone. Until you figure out what you want, only in your thoughts will I haunt. No more chasing for this girl. Let your love unfurl. So, if somebody has been in and out, hot and cold, on and off, back and forth, really don't know what they want, not making a decision, non-committal, just that kind of energy with the breadcrumbing and the ghosting, or the showing up at random times and I need you here right now, but then I'm just going to disappear off the face of the planet and leave you feeling confused and in want and in lack and feeling like, you know, there's something missing here. You don't have to live your life with something missing. Next time they get a hold of you, go on with your life and don't let it drag you down. If they really want something, then they will make a bigger effort than what they're making now. They'll get the hint that you aren't putting up with it anymore. Talk to them and tell them that as well. I mean, you start with that and you work your way into different ways of handling it. Sometimes you do just have to cut things off and just be done with it. Only up from here. All the ups and downs in life, all the chaos, all the strife. It doesn't matter what comes my way. My stability is here to stay. No longer worried about it all. My sanity takes the call. Hard fought for and won. I live my life in the sun. Even on a cloudy day, even when nothing goes my way, negativity takes a back seat. I won't ever miss a beat. Positivity is now the lead. Far more to reap from this seed. So if you guys want to be able to find my poems, you can find a link for Dee's story time in the description box below. And you can find all of them that I read on here over there. So you have learned from the ups and downs in life, from the ins and outs, from all the hardship and the pain, from everything that you have had to go through, from all the triggering that you've experienced from others. All of that kind of stuff has taught you a very strong sense of sanity, stability, strength. The ability to not allow your emotions to be swayed so easily by everyone around you. You've built up a thicker skin and you have really stepped into your power. You have taken your power back and you are now living in your truth. And living in your truth is what brings you more happiness than anything else imaginable. And so stepping into this truth and this authenticity is what makes your days bright, is what makes you feel good. You're no longer allowing the negativity to take a front seat in your life. You're no longer allowing that negativity to drive. You're no longer allowing the constant overthinking or the constant questioning or the constant need to feel validated to be what controls your life. You are now feeling like you are enough. And you're no longer going to put up with anyone or anything that makes you feel less than enough. Rising up, coming out of darkness, time to clear away and clean this mess. Standing up to fight this fight, my ancestors fill me with spiritual might. I hear the call to action today, head held high as I turn away, walking away from those who hurt me, working hard till I am free, standing my ground and expressing myself, no more time on an invisible shelf. Walking forward, looking back, there is nothing that I lack. Holding my own this time around, my energies, I have the power to ground. So, you're really going to be expressing yourself more, standing your ground more, walking away from things and cutting them off when it's affecting you in a negative way. You're no longer going to be allowing other people to control you or what you have going on in your life. You are going to be feeling very good about yourself. And you're really going to be feeling very good about the path that you have chosen to take. You're going to be getting more grounded, balanced, and feeling more peaceful in your life. Feeling like you've been able to overcome a lot, and also feeling like through practice and persistence, you are going to be able to level up your skills and your knowledge. You are really going to be feeling like the sky is the limit, and there is nothing that you can't achieve if you put your mind to it. You're really going to be opening up and expressing yourself so much more than you have in the past, with a lot of courage, bravery, integrity, and honesty. Please take my lack of interest as a no. I have boundary issues and a hard time hurting others with rejection, as I know how that feels. Rejection is protection, but I still have a hard time seeing it that way from either side. Love is when both people feel it, and that's what we both really want. Find the strength to let me go. Find someone who gives you the time and the interest that you are looking for and you deserve. Not the breadcrumbers, not the ghosters, not the ones that are putting you on the back burner like you're not a priority in anybody's life and you shouldn't be treated with respect or decency. Not the ones who can't be honest with you. Not the ones who can't tell you straight up what it is they want and what they're looking for and how they feel about you, but the ones who are actually going to open up and express those things. If you've expressed those things to somebody and they are still sidestepping it in and out, hot and cold, on and off, they don't know what the fuck's going on in their life, pull yourself away from that and just continue working on the things in your own life. Don't get stuck on someone who doesn't see you that way. It hurts and I should know. I wish that I could be honest with you, but it hurts too much. I know that sounds selfish, but it is what it is. Maybe one day I will learn to speak my truth too. So, and it doesn't mean that this person's just completely evil. I mean, some of you, yeah, you could be dealing with somebody who is just really playing with you and has really betrayed you or whatever the case may be. But others of you, it could just be that this person is not interested in you and doesn't know how to say it because they know how interested in them you are, and they don't want to hurt you anymore than they don't want to hurt you. Some people really have a hard time hurting other people. Some people have such a hard time hurting other people that they end up building entire relationships with somebody to avoid having to hurt them. That people-pleasing energy, I know we've all experienced that before, can cause things like that. That empath energy can cause things like that as well. So just because somebody is behaving in this way does not make them evil either. A lot of times empaths are the ones that are behaving in a way that is trying to protect other people's feelings and trying not to hurt other people's feelings, especially since they can feel it themselves when they hurt others. When you follow your heart, you know that you are on the right path, but it's not to be confused with impulsive emotions. So, when you first meet somebody and there's that spark, that initial attraction, that initial I want to jump your bones, that initial whatever there is going on there, take a minute to take a couple deep breaths. Pull yourself back a bit. If this person is really feeling more deeply for you, then they have no problem going slow right along with you and building something. Going slow is different from breadcrumbing and ghosting and not knowing what you want. Getting to know each other is different. You're still connecting, you're still building something. You're just building something slow and steady. And that is a different feeling than the impulsive emotions of right now. The impulsive emotions of right now are telling you, yeah, let's jump into this. I don't even know who the fuck this person is, but I love them. But you don't know who this person is. How can you love somebody you don't even know? And yeah, you can, because you can love every person on this planet and not know them. But to actually love somebody and have a real deep and meaningful relationship and connection, you need to actually know that. You need to actually go through things together. You need to actually build something. It's not something that is all of a sudden instantly there to have love, trust, and respect in a situation. Love, trust, and respect are all built up. The initial spark is required for that. You have to have the initial spark to have any kind of love in the future. That's just the way it is. But that initial spark is not love. That initial spark is lust. That initial spark is something new and interesting. That initial spark is a passion. But that initial spark is not something long-lasting, strong, and solid. That's what you build with that initial spark. Unless, of course, you decide to just rush in and everything ends up all destroyed because, everybody's rushing into something that they know nothing about. The floodgates will or have been opened. It's okay to feel, just don't drown. So it's okay to feel, it's okay to love, it's okay to cry, it's okay to grieve, it's okay for all of those things. But when you jump into those emotions and you drown in them, or you repress them and shove them in a box, both of those things are the extremes that cause issues. There's a nice happy medium of expressing and of containing. A nice happy medium of the two will be your best balance to create good things in your life. You see things that others miss, extremely perceptive, possibly even psychic. So you definitely are quite capable of being able to see things that others miss. People may try to convince you at times that you have no idea what you're talking about, that what you're seeing isn't real, what you're thinking isn't real, but you definitely have some skills and abilities to be able to read people and to be able to read situations. Remember to temper your reactions in situations though. Especially when you're somebody who knows things that others miss, or you know things very quickly without even having to really delve into the situation. Tempering your reactions is a very important thing. And that's not to be confused with hiding your emotions or sweeping them under the rug or not expressing yourself. That has to do with expressing yourself in a healthy and regulated way. And not just dumping it all out on everyone around you in the world, but being able to express yourself in a healthy and regulated way. So I really feel like there is definitely a lot of good things coming in your near future, and you just gotta be able to tap into your intuition, allow the overthinking energy to go away, stop dealing with people that are treating you like you're nothing and you aren't good enough, and being okay with the fact that that's something to do with them and that's not something to do with you, but that's something that they got going on inside of themselves. It's not necessarily you when people aren't feeling for you what you are for them. But there are things that you can find in yourself as well that can tell you why you're feeling this way for somebody who isn't feeling the same for you, or why you want to be loyal to somebody who isn't being loyal to you. The double standard thing is a big one that can affect that. So anyway, that is what I have for you guys today, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this reading. I would absolutely love to hear what you guys thought about it in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed this reading, like, comment, share, subscribe, and if you want to be able to donate, you can find my Cash App, PayPal, and Amazon wish list all in the description box below. And I truly appreciate each and every one of you who donate to this channel, or who like, comment, share, subscribe, or support me in whatever way it is that you support me on my path while I'm here to support you on yours. It really does mean a lot to me, and I hope you guys have a beautiful night or day, whatever it is, wherever you are when you're watching. Bye bye, guys.